Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Map Battle League show. I'm your host Carp, and I'm joined today by Paschtetli. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. Today we've got week 12, the penultimate week of the league, and yeah, as we come to the end of the season, this is probably going to be the last chance for some of the players to sort of stay in the running to make it into the playoffs. So this is really going to be an important week for a lot of players. So yeah, let's just hop straight into it with Division One, and here we see two very close games: Scraper versus Soviet Spine Brisbane ending um with two perfect scores. The same case with Paulinho versus Sheldon Wong. Um, and meanwhile, Boxer, Moist Slubber, M the Baseman, and Xander all pick up wins to help their bids um, for the playoffs.
Yeah. It's interesting to see how players do in urban maps, how well players do in urban maps, especially in Australia or the USA, where there's plenty of information, and it's not that surprising, but so nice to see so many 25Ks. Also nice to see that both of those who lost their who lost their, how should I say that? Tiebreaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Soviets by and Sheldon. They got both bonus points, so that to help them out, that so that they
Mm-hmm.
don't lose that many points, and only Orpheus and Solar Sensei's game ended up in a 1-1 draw.
Yeah. It was actually okay. Yeah, actually, Sheldon won the tiebreaker in Mountain View.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The graphic is a bit off, but yeah. Yeah. That's the only one that really uh, Orpheus versus Solar Sensei is the only one that didn't have any bonus points going out really. With
Yeah.
the draw. Although it was fairly close in France. You'd expect Orpheus to do well, but Solar Sensei, it was almost there. Not quite, but a
Yeah.
really good performance in France. Uh,
Not as good as Orpheus' performance in the USA.
mm-hmm, yeah. It didn't go both ways really. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
However, I did lose terribly to Boxer. I mean, I didn't have many hopes
Which
going
is
in.
no surprise, to be honest. Well, you actually won against him once in the World Cup tournament last summer.
Yeah. Uh,
So,
that was on Bhutan. That's why I picked Bhutan for this week. And
oh, okay, yeah,
uh,
that's right. I remember. Yeah.
yeah, and well, it didn't turn out to go my way this time. Uh, but yeah, that's a loss.
Much more, yeah, more practice on his end, probably.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, no bonus point for me this week, and yeah, as we'll see in the standings, that does not help me. I drop into the direct relegation spots. It's still pretty close. Shumi is just 1 point ahead of me, but going into the final week, that's going to be um uh really difficult to sort of um get out, I guess. Um,
Yeah. At
but
least you won't drop out, a drop down to place 14 since Blinky is not gonna play anymore. We
yeah,
would like to know why, but haven't heard from him. So
hmm
yeah, he also didn't sign up for the next Reddit League season. Yeah, I think he's just not playing Reddit tournaments anymore, which is a shame. But yeah,
yeah, probably one of the best players we've had. So yeah,
indeed, yeah,
um, but yeah, and now it's basically just one direct relegation spot in this division, but it's definitely going to be a hard-fought battle to stay out of it. Um,
yeah,
yeah. On the other end, Boxa is he's guaranteed to be in the playoffs. I think this was the case last week as well. But yeah, he's 5 points ahead of Sheldon, who's in second. So, um, yeah, and
yeah, yeah. There's no chance against this monster. monstrosity.
Yeah, and even after he missed a week, I believe. I
Yeah,
think week
that's right.
11,
Yeah,
he didn't put up a score.
yeah, he did. He missed that one.
Yeah, okay, yeah, week 11. So yeah, I mean that's his only loss. So discounting that, he is unbeaten this season, as is Sheldon Wong. So yeah, that's definitely no easy feat.
Yeah, and it's also interesting to see that he doesn't have the most 25Ks. He's pretty famous for good pinpointing, but he
Mhm.
probably didn't play the maps you get 25Ks on,
Yeah,
like Barry probably did.
yeah, but Barry's got like 11 perfect scores and still is in the relegation battle. So
Yeah,
yeah, so sometimes these can really go the opposite way. Um,
bad luck.
yeah, I think for most of the players, just outside the top four, it might be a bit of a tall order for them to get into that playoff um area. So I think for them the season is pretty much wrapped up. Just 1 week to go,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Also, Moist Flubber has to make up 2 whole points to get into that playoff spots, which is not very likely in this tournament. Depends on his opponent, of course, but I mean, it's pretty likely that those 4 players who are in the playoff spots right now are gonna be in the playoff spots when it counts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, as we'll see, Moist Flubber is facing off against Orpheus this week. So might be a bit difficult for him to uh make up the spots. Uh,
Yeah, I predict a draw on this map. I know Orpheus is pretty good on Spain and not very good in the United States. So, and I know Moist Flubber is pretty good in the United States, and I don't know how well he does in Spanish maps, but I don't expect him to beat Orpheus on that one.
yeah. We did see how Orpheus did in the US in week 12. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, don't know how that's gonna go. On the other hand, M the Basement finally has Netherlands. I haven't managed to steal it away from him this week. So yeah, he's gonna play on his home map for once. Uh,
yeah.
although I guess this week he pretty much
Although
just
he
had
has
a
a
bye
bye
week.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a shame, but
mhm,
yeah, at least he gets to play his home map,
yeah.
even
Uh,
though it doesn't really matter anymore.
yeah. We did see Scriper versus Bear Fishy Bear. Both of them going with maps they're good at. I think I played Scriper on Curve of the World a few weeks ago, and yeah, I believe he's really good at that. On the other hand, Barry is good at the US, so that's gonna be a tough one to
Yeah.
call. Um,
Box and Soviet Spy have interesting maps. I think it's a wise pick to pick a NMP set world against a man like Boxer.
yeah.
Maybe he manages to draw it. We will see next week, but
We'll see how that
I
turns
I
out.
don't expect Soviet better to expect Soviet Spy to beat Box on Thrace. So yeah,
Yeah, the Trace was a random pick
a
though,
draw is
so
likely.
um,
Okay, okay.
yeah. I can't remember whether that was like actually just like Boxer didn't submit anything, or if that was one of those cases where Boxer just ran out of like all the maps he picked ran out, because I know that happened once. Um,
I'm not sure. I think it's a random pick. I know he's been pretty busy lately, so
right.
I think it's possible that he missed this submission deadline.
Yeah. Um, uh, I don't know what's gonna happen in my map, because like we've got
Yeah,
one urban map, and then the other one is home territory for Paulinho, but I don't think I'm too bad at Romania. Uh,
yeah. I
mhm,
know I am not too bad at Romania, but I don't know how you will do.
mhm.
Didn't you play it in Reddit League?
Preseason, yeah. We
Preseason,
did
yeah.
indeed.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So yeah, I think I might be getting my hopes a little high, but you know,
Yeah.
maybe I have a shot. We'll have to see.
Maybe. Maybe a draw. A
Yeah,
draw is likely, I think. I
yeah,
think you can pull off a draw.
definitely. And maybe it might help Moist Flubber's bid for making into that playoff spot. If he does
Yeah,
manage to pull
maybe.
off a surprise upset over Orpheus. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Um, Lastly, I think Xander against Sheldon on a pinpointable world and rule Canada. Phew, that's a tough one to call.
yeah,
I have no idea.
oh, a pinpointable world is also non-moving. Uh,
Yeah,
although
but it's
yeah, I
pretty
think
easy. It's pretty easy. You
right,
will
right,
always have signs with round numbers in Iceland, or so you can 25k that in
right.
no time.
Yeah, I think rural Canada might
Um,
be the decider there.
I'm pretty sure, and I think Xander is also from the US, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure. If he is, they will probably have about an equal chance of winning that. Also, it really depends on the direction they're going in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the biggest. Yeah, I'm not sure. Biggest coin flips.
Yeah, yeah. It if you go the wrong direction in Canada, you'll just end up in the prairie and then there's nothing else around. Um,
Yeah, or in the woods somewhere
yeah.
up north.
Okay. Uh, yeah. Yeah. Let's move on to Division Two, and yeah. Well, straight off the bat, we see Danny Blonde and Ollie, hitting a draw in Ålesund, in Norway. Ollie does pick up the advantage there. And in our French derby this week, there was another set of two perfect scores on the Isle of Man, where Pierre takes the win. Um, but yeah,
Or surely not a hard map, Isle of Man. So it's pretty understandable they managed to both to 25k.
yeah,
But a still world is pretty hard, and I know Wordog is not that very fond of no moving or even NMP set maps, so it makes sense that Pierre won that one.
yeah. I can't blame Murdoch about that. I don't like non-moving either, but um, yeah. Uh, but overall, only Pierre, Diesel, and Hexall pick up wins this week. Um, and Brian is the only one close enough for a bonus point here with 5 random countries. I'm not sure what those countries were. Um,
Yeah, I also
Let me
don't
see.
remember.
Let's see. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong week.
I
Okay,
have
no,
it.
it doesn't say.
Switzerland,
Oh,
Thailand, Botswana, Netherlands, and Montenegro.
there you go. Yeah, that's not the hardest set, I think, other than Thailand.
Yeah, Thailand's pretty hard.
Yeah, other than
He
that,
managed to 25k the map. I think generally these since these maps are handpicked, I think they are easier than normal world maps
yeah,
because the locations always I don't know, they are not that in the middle of nowhere, and they are always kind of possible. So it makes sense that both players to dwell on that map.
yeah. But yeah, that match was really close. Brian picked up the
Indeed,
bonus
yeah.
point in one match, and Gabriel was really close on the other one, just what 260 points behind. Uh, but yeah.
Yeah.
On the other end, though, Schlury did manage a draw. That's not gonna help him in his bid to get out of relegation, but yeah, I think that might be his season pretty much decided. As we'll see in the standings. Yeah, he's what 5 points behind where he needs to be to get out of relegation, so
Yeah,
it's pretty much
that's not gonna
decided for
happen.
him. Yeah, Zugano still
Um,
has a bit of a chance, but Um,
Also unlikely.
yeah. Um,
Then on the top of the table, it's pretty open, or at least it's more open or opener than
yeah.
than the Division One table,
Mm-hmm.
with Diesel and Verdog both on 23 points and on 725k. So it came down to score difference for tiebreaker, and this is not close at all. Diesel is ahead with a quite a bit of points, so
Mm-hmm.
that's clear. But then again, it depends on the next week's maps and matchups to decide where who's gonna win this division.
Yeah. It's really close up there actually, all the way down to sixth. Only 3 points separate them, so you could still see a lot of movement. You could see some
Indeed,
um,
yeah.
you could see some of the other players in the playoff spot, maybe making a break into the direct promotion spot, and sort of avoiding the need to compete to get promotion. Um, but yeah, near the bottom though, it's looking a little bleak for Danny Blunt and Driver Punk, who need to make up at least 3 points to
And
and
Hexalt also.
oh yeah, Hexalt as well. How although actually Hexalt wouldn't be able to because his 25k is below.
Yeah,
Um,
well,
mm,
that's true, yeah. But still, if one of
yeah,
those, one of Danny Blunt's or Dreifach Punkt lose their games, so, and Hexalt at least draws it, he moves a spot up,
right,
so that's
right,
great for him.
yeah,
And then again for Oli or WTF, if they manage to win and Hexalt or one of the other two uh, does not get any points, they also can move out of the relegation zone. So
yeah.
that is very open down there.
It's a really cutthroat battle. Although maybe not where you'd expect it. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah.
this is pretty much decided who is in the top, like 5-6 spots, and then it's decided who is in the top, like spot 7 to 12 more or less,
12,
and
yeah,
then Sotomo and Schludi are pretty much
guaranteed to be relegated.
guaranteed to relegated. Yeah,
Yeah.
they can't do much about it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, let's take a look ahead to week 13, and yeah, quite a few urban maps in this division. Draftpunkt has Linz, WTF has Rijeka, Schludi has Jambi, and actually his opponent Ollie has gone with Cork. Zotomo has Bishkek, and I need to actually get what 5 cities Brian chose, although I have a feeling I know which ones those are.
Um,
Let's see.
I need to click through the game to see that.
Yeah, I know one of them is probably over. It's probably Indianapolis. Uh,
Probably, yeah.
yeah, I think he usually goes with like Indianapolis. I think Chicago, and
Yeah, something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's also interesting to see the Diesel against Pierre. Uh, one going for a really 25 cable map, and the other one going for a remote world, which is not at all 25 cable. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a landscape guesser or meta guesser, depends on the country.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
this is as much as opposite as the maps can be, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely going to come down to a remote world for that game. Uh,
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's true.
um,
I know TGBM is pretty good in Indonesia and Malaysia stuff, so um, I I'd say he wins that map for sure. And then again, WTF probably going for his hometown, or at least a town he's familiar with. So that's gonna be a draw. I'm pretty sure.
yeah. Was that a city of your choice map, or
Oh, no, I don't know.
I
Not sure.
I believe WTF is from
No, it's
Szechuan,
not. It's not.
so yeah. Um, so
It's not.
maybe not as much of a home advantage, but there's definitely he's got an upper hand there.
Yeah. Most likely, you know the cities in your country
Yeah.
pretty well, or at least you're familiar with some streets or some things around there, and you can read the language, which is also an advantage for sure.
Yeah. Actually, Wordux map is all also an urban map. It's 5 urban locations in Eswatini, which
Oh yeah.
I'd assume is just going to be the capital, but um,
Yeah, there are others, not but not that big. Also, Mbabane is not that big of a capital.
right.
The
And
Eswatini doesn't have much cities.
yeah,
Also, not that
it's
big
not
ones.
particularly big. But yeah, yeah. I still don't know what that map. All the places you will go is
I
it
think
keeps
it's
showing
just
us.
a random world map with some places the creator liked. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's Mr. Blue's map, but
No, I'm
no.
not. I don't think so.
Okay, it was a different one then.
I don't think so.
Okay. But yeah, there's a few of these like weird maps in the mix, and yeah, I never know what they are. I never pick them because of that. But
It's from EMSME, EMSSME.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Um, no idea what or what's gonna happen there, but yeah, definitely gonna be a lot of close games. I think, especially with all the urban maps. Um,
yeah, indeed, yeah.
yeah, and you know what, that might actually help some of the players. Like, you could really pick up a few bonus points with those. So, um, even if you aren't
Yeah,
able to pick up a win, the bonus point is definitely going to help out. Um, if you want to get an edge over some of the other people around you on the table.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Also the 25Ks as the first tiebreaker
right. Yeah, so some players
can
definitely
come
can offer
handy
that.
for some people. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, let's move on to Division 3. And yeah, quite a few wins. We have 59 Soundbite, Plucky, Armand, and Altenwook all picking up wins this week. Um, and yeah, most of the other results about as you'd expect. Faraban and Laban Grab each winning on their own picks, with perfect scores. Similar sort of situation, with Mac versus Jake, and the American Derby actually ends up sort of the other way, but I would have said that was a toss-up in the first place.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm not sure if this was a random pick, but it's interesting to see that Teaser went for a UK map, UK city map,
Yeah.
which he didn't perform really well on.
Mm-hmm.
Probably it's a random assigned map, since I don't believe he would go for a UK city map if he has no
Mm-hmm.
idea what it contains,
Yeah.
so to say.
We don't actually have the preference number on the table for this
Oh,
week.
it's I have it here. It's
Okay.
second.
No, that I think that's like two, as in it's like
Oh
it's a
yeah,
moving
that's true.
game.
He
Uh,
Mr. Blue forgot to take the
yeah, the
write
preference
the
number.
preference number.
Although I actually I could check the preference number. Uh,
If you want to.
yeah, because uh I do have access to the sheet from when I had to assign it for
Yeah, so do I, but
the
I
week.
I, I don't have it some on my desktop or so.
Uh,
It's somewhere in my email folder.
yeah, it showed up in like my Google Sheets,
Oh
like
yeah,
recent ones.
true. I
So
could
yeah.
check that too. That didn't even cross my mind.
Okay, but it's like hidden, so never mind. We aren't finding out what preference number that was. Um, yeah. Plucky with a really decisive win over Seoul for um also was close in the Philippines, but yeah, Plucky really put up a um good performance in the Philippines and Singapore. You expect perfect scores.
Yeah, well, one wasn't.
Yeah.
One wasn't a perfect score. He just missed out on one location probably,
Mm-hmm.
which is not that unlikely to happen. And it's also a city map, so you'll drop a lot of points really quickly.
Yeah.
And Singapore can be like that. I mean, there are a lot of estates where with a bunch of squiggly and dead end dead ends
Yeah.
roads, and that's pretty hard sometimes to get out of. And if you lose like 2 minutes on one road and you don't get out and don't find any information, it's really likely to that you don't score any points. That's
Yeah.
pretty yeah.
Yeah, especially in Singapore, you really need to like put in a bit of practice to like sort of learn where each of the roads are and learn how the road numbering works and all of that.
They
Um,
don't have road numbering. I think it's
uh,
more of the districts. The
yeah,
district names are in the street names.
yeah, yeah.
So
So
if you know the districts, you and you see like wood. What was it again? It's something with wood in the up
yeah,
north.
yeah,
You know,
mm-hmm.
you are in the north. Yeah.
Yeah. I meant sort of like
Also the highways.
yeah. Oh, the highways as well. Yeah,
Also the highways.
yeah. I meant something like if you have like Jurong Avenue 13.
Yeah.
You
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. Um. But yeah, the French Derby ending in a win for Armand. And Altenburg picks up a very decisive win over Nakiro. Um, Istanbul didn't go well for Nakiro at all, and yeah, Fredericksburg
It's a hard
also
map.
gave some problems.
That's a hard map. Istanbul.
Yeah, yeah.
If you don't speak Turkish.
Hmm. Yeah, that's gonna be deadly. Um, Fredericksburg was actually Altenburg's choice, so yeah, no surprise that he got a perfect score there. Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, uh, it's a win for him. Jake does manage to pull off a win on Geodetective World. It's no official uncommon world, but he can do just fine on other maps.
Yeah, it's a narrow window.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
only
just
with
five
I know
points.
5 points. 5 points. Yeah. I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
slow with math.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, that was a really close game. Max, uh, just 5 points away from picking up a win, but there you go.
Poor guy.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's take a look at the standings. And yeah, Plucky is guaranteed for promotion. Jake isn't quite as set, but I'd say it's
Very
like
likely.
yeah, pretty much guaranteed. Um, and yeah, even the rest of the playoff spots are pretty much set. Teaser is 5 points behind, which is too far to break into those spots. But the battle for the relegation spots is definitely heating up.
Yes.
Uh,
Um.
Ottawa and Seppo
This
are
this that's
guaranteed.
that's really close down there.
Yeah.
Ottawa and Seppo can't really get out of the last two spots.
Mm-hmm. Ottawa would
Only
need
if
a win.
Ottawa wins and a 25k. He needs a win and a 25k
Yep.
to get out of. And he needs to that Soundbite loses his match
Yeah.
too,
Yeah. That too.
and that he doesn't get a 25k also. So it's really unlikely that
Uh-huh.
Ottawa gets out of relegation, direct relegation spots. But other than that, I mean, between Soundbite and Teaser, there is a lot of room for change.
Yeah.
Also, in 25Ks, they all are pretty close together, so it's not unlikely that we will see a whole different table next week. In the middle, at least, the top is pretty set.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. We'll have to see how that turns out. And well, here are the fixtures that are going to decide that. We have a lot of country maps this time around, actually.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, you can see Farabhan going with home advantage in France, and then Altingwook just goes with Bangladesh for some reason. Uh,
Maybe that was a random pick. I don't
well,
think so. No,
no,
it
it's
was
second
second, the
pick.
second pick.
Yep. Uh,
Okay then. He seems to be he seems to know that his what was it called again? Bengali script.
Bengali, yeah. Uh-huh. Um, I'll be honest, even I don't know it, so um, yeah.
I wouldn't dare to go something like that. That's really my worst fear in
Mhm.
GeoGuessr. To to go for a 25k on a diverse route, for example, and then get Bangladesh on the last round,
Yeah.
or
Well,
Indonesia, or so. One of or two of my worst countries.
yeah. Well, if you think Bangladesh is bad, look at Armand with the teether. They have Thailand on the roster.
Well, that's bad too, yeah.
Yeah.
At least Malta is pretty easy, so
Yeah.
that's 225Ks. I'm pretty sure
Hmm.
with some practice.
Yeah.
Mountains everywhere could be interesting. If you end up in Kyrgyzstan or something like that, or in Chile somewhere up there in the mountains and without any information, that's just plonking. But
Yeah. But however, I think
Australia
yeah, yeah. I
can
believe
go the same actually.
Soundbite lived in Australia, so I think
Yeah, okay.
so. Yeah, I think he's got the upper hand this week there.
Yeah,
Which would definitely help him at least pick up a better spot on the table. Um, uh, we'll see
true.
how that goes. Jake hasn't managed to get AOUW this week either. He's got a still world non-moving. But
I
yeah,
think he's also pretty good on that one. It doesn't matter if it's an MP set or no moving.
yeah.
He's a player that knows his country streaks and stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'd favor him for this. And Pluki, I think, is from Chile, so no, he isn't, but he
No,
is quite fond of it, I think.
right.
I'm not sure. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
misremembering
Uh,
something. Um, Probably, but yeah, I think since Chile was his a random pick actually,
oh, okay.
so that's a
Yeah.
complete never mind then.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Max has gone for Sweden, which I don't know how much of an advantage he'll have there. But on the other hand, you've just got a random world by for Seppo, so definitely some players sort of throwing some curveballs. Uh,
that contains pretty much just random stuff. I think it has quite a lot of Brazil in it. I played some seeds
uh-oh.
some time ago, so also Japan is not that rare.
Mm.
Yeah,
I think Japan isn't that bad.
depends
But yeah,
depends on the
right.
location.
Yeah,
It
if
can
you're in
get
the middle
really
of the
bad, but
mountains, that's not.
also it's in the middle of Tokyo, and if you can't read kanji, yeah, you'll spend a lot of time just figuring out where in this gigantic city you are.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, I stand corrected. Um, yeah, well, let's take a look at Division 4. And
Hey, that's me.
there you go. And you did pull off a draw, um,
Now I win. I
oh,
won
a
against
win. Yeah,
Calamity.
yeah. I was talking about the match in Bern. Yeah, both of you did get perfect scores. I mean, I wouldn't expect you not to get a perfect score there.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
my good
feel.
old hometown.
Mm-hmm.
But I was quicker and closer, but not inside the. He was inside the margin for um complete draw across all
Yeah.
tiebreakers.
Yeah. That's why there isn't like a tiebreaker symbol
Yeah,
there. Um, but yeah.
exactly.
Uh,
And Asia went surprisingly my way. I didn't expect that. He missed one Filipinian town, I think it was called Ilocos or something like that.
uh,
I remembered
Iloilo, I think.
vaguely where it was and found it, and he didn't. So that was it for that. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy about it. Yeah, it will help me a lot of. It will help me out of to get out of relegation spots
Yeah. Well, we'll take a look at that in
earlier or
just a
later.
second. Uh, but yeah, Clemens also picks up a win against Finn, who haven't had the best season so far, but we can definitely see he's starting to sort of measure up to the other players. I mean, those aren't terrible scores at all. So yeah, he's doing fairly well.
Yeah, he came in. He didn't start.
Yeah,
He replaced someone, I think,
Connor, I
if
believe.
I remember correct. Yeah, Connor. Yeah. So that was expected that he might not do as well as the others.
Yeah, he has been struggling, but yeah, he's definitely starting to do a bit better. Um, uh,
That's nice to see. Yes.
Yeah. Sebkirst also picks up a win. Um, why did he end up with Greater Dakota? That's uh, I mean, he almost got a perfect score there, so definitely a good choice, I suppose. Uh, and Hidikmi
Indeed, yes.
as well picks up a win against Ardboka, a perfect score in Clermont-Ferrand, and almost a perfect score on that world map there. Uh,
Yeah. A better word is, I think, just with less Brazil and Russia. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm
yeah.
wrong, but
That
I
does sound
thought
about
it was
right.
something like
That would be a
that.
better world indeed. Um, okay.
In geoguessr terms, of course,
Yeah,
not to
yeah, yeah. Uh,
infuriate some people here, but in geoguessr terms, you
yeah,
you'd like to see less of those gigantic countries.
yeah. What is Macaronesia?
Um. Oh, I don't. I have no idea. I
That's
think it's maybe it has to do something with the pastry macaron. I'm not sure.
oh, okay. Never mind. It's an actual place. It is the
Okay.
it's the
Okay.
region comprising of the Azores, Madeira, Canary Islands,
Ah, that
and
makes
Cabo
sense.
Verde.
That makes sense. Okay, then I stand corrected. I'm glad I do.
I mean, I can't blame you for thinking it was just a pastry themed place, but uh,
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
didn't
Yeah.
expect that to be a real place, but
But
yeah,
yeah, that matchup between Jack and Hugo goes about as you'd expect. Um, but
indeed,
actually,
yes.
I think one of the biggest upsets, Bitlympics beat Michael in Down County,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
which I mean, I wouldn't have expected that. I'm sure Michael's excuse is going to be it's Northern Ireland, but uh, yeah. However, Michael did pick up a perfect score in Vasa.
Yeah,
Although
it was also close. You gotta say that. So only 300 points, or
yeah.
not even 300 points. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's um, it's excusable, I think.
Yeah. Uh, fair enough. Renata also loses in Slovenia. She she seems to be pretty good at those sort of countries, but yeah, Paranoid Android picks up the win there. But it ends in a draw overall.
I think it's not that wise of a pick. Not that good of a pick. To pick Slovenia against the Croatian man.
Right.
If you're not actually Slovenian, but maybe it's just maybe she just picked something, and she thought she was fond of, but didn't care about her opponent. So
Hmm.
yeah, maybe that was a problem.
Yeah. Well, here are the standings as it turned out, and at this point, Erdboker and Finn are mathematically eliminated. and I mean relegated. Uh, unfortunately.
Yeah,
On the other end, though, uh, Hidikmi has taken the top spot in the division. Throughout the season, it's been sort of dominated by Jack and Clemens. Yeah, Hidikmi's finally
Clemens
broken
dropped
into that.
out to fourth.
Yeah. Uh,
Uh,
h- however, all three Austrians are there together. Calamity didn't have the best start to the season, and now he's sort of caught up with his fellow countrymen up there.
That's nice to see, of course. Yeah. He's really likely to get promoted as are the other six promotion spots. I think they're all pretty good. Of course, mathematically, there's still room to change,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think so. And
Yeah.
of course, it's possible for me to get out of the relegation spots, which is nice. I just need to pull off a win against, I think it was Paranoid, um, which is possible, I think.
Yeah.
Depends on the maps, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, also for Geo Squad Edward, it's possible to move up, but but Olympics and the rest down there, they are set to be in the relegation spots.
Yeah. In theory, with a win, you could even make it into playoff spots. If Sebkist
True,
and
true, yeah,
Renata, actually, if Sebkist only picks up a draw and you pick up a win, then you're into the promotion
yeah.
battle. Um,
That's not even that unlikely. You just need to win, and he just needs to draw.
yeah,
It's we have seen unlikelier stuff happen in this tournament,
yeah.
or more unlikely stuff to happen in this tournament.
Mm-hmm. Something interesting to note though, Sebkist is still unbeaten this season. Um, and he's
True,
one of
yeah.
only like three people, I believe. We already saw Sheldon Long in Division One. Uh,
And Urbuka is beaten. He he didn't win one game
yeah,
this season.
I think those are a bit more common. Uh,
Yeah, true.
but yeah, there you go. Michael and Paranoid Android still have a shot at making it into the uh, uh playoff spots as well. Although for them, it could really go into either of the playoff spots, promotion or relegation. So they're sort of walking a fine line there.
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
But yeah, let's take a look ahead to week 13, and yeah, you're playing against Parenthood Android. Um, how do you feel about that match?
I picked an unusual world because I know it's an NMP set, and I
Mm-hmm.
know he Paranoid didn't do really well on NMP set maps before, so I thought I'd pick that. I'm not sure if I'll manage to win it because it's NMP set and it can go really either way. Um, but yeah, I feel a draw is likely. A win would be nice, but I don't get my hopes up too much.
Mm-hmm. Um, and what about Montenegro? You think that'll be easy
Yeah, and I never
or
really played it. I never really played it before.
uh,
It's a small country, and I think it's practicable, so we'll see.
yeah. Um, there's a few urban maps around here as well. Clemens is going for Varna in Bulgaria. Jack is going with Pech in Hungary. Bethlehem picks with uh, how do you say that? Just Bochum?
Bochum.
Bochum. Okay. Uh,
Bochum. Yeah.
yeah, and Renata going with 5 urban location in Czechia, so maybe that's gonna go a little better for her. Um, although
She's
Michael's
probably more fond of that
yeah.
than Slovenia.
Michael does have a fair bit of an advantage with Irish Island, which I assume it's just like Ireland,
Mm,
or
I
are
think
the
it's just small islands off the coast of Ireland.
yeah.
There are a couple.
Okay. I didn't know they existed. Oh yeah. Uh, are there? They mostly seem mostly seems like that like sort of fjord type of thing, not fjords, but just inlet. Um, but yeah. Um,
Yeah, mostly on the west coast.
mhm. But yeah. Oh, we also have Legaspi, for Edward, who I think literally in the first week he had yeah, he got randomly assigned City of your choice, Bangladesh. He went with Silhet, won, and now I think he's just realized he's just good at urban maps in general, so it just goes with whatever comes up.
I
Uh
mean, it's his 12th choice, so I'm not sure if
oh,
yeah,
mm-hmm,
if he just put it in there because it's an urban map, or yeah, maybe it's that. I don't know.
mm-hmm. But yeah, in any case, he's played a lot of urban maps this season, so I'm sure he's more than
Indeed, yeah.
familiar with them. I'm just counting this up. One, two, uh, three. That's not an urban map. I'm just counting up how many he's actually played. Four.
His
Uh,
um his perfect scores are not the highest though.
oh,
He I think he got
five.
325 Ks, and yeah, Hugo got 6 in our division.
Huh. Um. Okay. Also interesting to note, Edward has played Silhet twice. Seven.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Yeah. I'm up to seven right now, and I've got 2 more weeks to check. Uh. Okay. He's played 8 city maps and won 5 urban locations.
Not bad, not bad.
And so that's like 3/4 of his season. Uh,
Mm.
so yeah, he's definitely played a lot of them. Um, and uh, there's a few other sort of interesting maps in the mix. Ordboka going with "It's a Small World After All." Not sure what that is. Sepke is going with "Taxi of the World," which is definitely a fun sounding map.
A Small World After All is from Mr. Blue, I think.
Okay, that's the one I was thinking of earlier.
Yeah,
Um,
but beyond that, I'm not sure.
yeah.
Taxes of the World is also from Mr. Blue.
Mm-hmm. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah. Calamity going with Kyrgyzstan for the Austrian Derby there.
one of his favorite maps
Yeah,
to play.
yeah. He might be the favorite for this one. Although we'll have to
I
wait and
know
see.
Czech is really good on urban maps. I know
Okay.
that's for sure. And I know Calamity is worse at urban maps than him, but maybe he'll pull off a 25K too.
Yeah. Actually, Patch was Jack's first choice, so maybe he's um um very confident in that one. Maybe he's been there or something. I
Maybe,
don't
yeah.
know. I mean, Hungary isn't too far from Austria. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll see about that. Um, next week. Let's move on to Division 5A, and here we see a lot of draws. Only Lord Pepsi and Rafa pull off wins this week. But I think mostly results as you'd expect.
Yeah. I think I would have set my money on Redox, not Lord Pepsi though.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just because he's a fellow countryman, maybe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know he doesn't practice, or almost doesn't practice, and City Map is really practicable, and you need to practice it to do well.
Mm-hmm.
So and I know Redox hates pinpointing, and he's not really good at it. So it's probably smart to choose a City Map against him. You can also see that it's represented in the final results there. but
Mhm.
the Mountains of the World, I thought that would go Redox's way for sure.
Yeah. You have plenty of mountains in Switzerland. I'm sure that's
Yeah,
um
the Alps in general are pretty fun to me at least.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
and yeah,
but yeah,
but
go ahead.
it's not guaranteed that Redox knows them as well as I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also, this map, Radox and Lord Pepsi have both been at the top of the season, at the top of the tables this entire season. So,
Yeah,
definitely a sort of close match.
and
It
an
is going in,
important
I
win.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rafa does pick up an easy win against Rev Ruckus, who hasn't had the best season since joining partway through. Um,
Yeah.
uh, after uh, who left? Flapper left, right? Yeah.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, the Ukrainian guy.
yeah. Uh, but yeah. Fairly easy win for Rafa there, and uh, yeah. We do see sort of all of the matches ending with just people winning on their own map, except for Drew versus Flipster. Although I think, was that a random pick? I'm not sure why Drew would go for Argentina, but
I
we
don't
don't
know.
have it
It's not marked.
yeah, this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think mostly results as you'd expect. Uh, Definitely some players, just pick up maps that they know they're good at and pick up the win pretty easily. Diamond with Dutch Islands, Penguin with Poland, Sausage Right with I guess Dnipro works. Um, but
Well, that's some geopolitical
yeah, yeah.
territory
Let's
right
let's
there.
not go there.
Let's yeah.
Yeah.
Let's avoid that.
But yeah. Finn did not take too well to Dnipro at all. Um, and not even breaking 2000. Same case with Timon and Poland. So, uh, yeah, I think most cases the individual match wins have been pretty decisive.
5,600 is a really, really low score, as is 1,800, which is but it's more understandable since it's a city map. So if you
Mm-hmm.
just don't have any clue and you can't read Cyrillic, you're pretty screwed up, and yeah, you have no you have no way
Yeah.
out of the 5K margin even. And Poland, this is a country map. I'm not sure what the problem was. I think it's pretty practicable and not that hard. Poland are way harder countries, and not sure what Timon's problem was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at least he won his own map, so that's fine.
Yeah. Um, we do see two bonus points going out. Flipster with Spanish-speaking cities, and GB picks up a bonus point in Finland, which I mean, uh, going up against a fellow countryman, that match could have gone either way, really. But yeah, it was really close, just 11 points apart. Can't blame either of them, really.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, uh, there you have it. Let's look at the standings for the week, and Rafa moves up into the top spot. Yeah, Radox and Lord Pepsi were really sort of swapping paint up there in the top spot for most of the season, but in these last few weeks, Biquette and Rafa have sort of broken into that area. So um, yeah, Lord Pepsi and Radox sort of losing their spots up there. Near the bottom of the table, Timon, Finn, and Rev Ruckus are all guaranteed to be eliminated, and they'll have to requalify next season.
I'm not sure if this is still in
Oh,
the tournament. I thought Mr. Blue just just erased
Oh,
that from existence, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong.
oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Actually, on the sheet, there's no longer like the red highlight over it. Okay.
Then I'm right, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I I I need to update this then. Um. But yeah. They have
So yeah,
fallen.
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. They have fallen behind. Neusel in 11th. So they won't be moving too much from there. Um.
True, yeah.
But yeah. There is still a bit of a battle. To get into that final playoff spot for promotion. Um, Sausage Rep and Flipster have a pretty good chance, I'd say. And Emmericom in theory could also make it, but it's looking a little bleak for him.
True, yeah. The top spots above 20 points, I'm pretty sure they're gonna stay like this or more or less.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure those people are gonna be promoted. But 5, 6, 7, I guess we'll see
Mhm.
what will happen to them.
Yeah. I I I honestly don't know who's gonna end up taking the like direct promotion spot. That could really go anyway, I
True,
think.
yeah.
Just depends on like what matches these guys have. And uh yeah, well, we can take a look at that over here. Yeah, let's see. We're looking at Biquette, Radox, Lord Pepsi, and Rafa, who um definitely don't have the easiest matchups this week. So yeah, it just comes down to who's maybe um got an ace up their sleeve this week. Um, Definitely won't be easy for Radox with 5 urban locations in Brazil. I if you end up in
I know he's not bad at Brazil. I know he's good at
oh,
Brazil, but I'm not sure about the urban
mhm.
twist to it.
Yeah, if you end up in the middle of
um,
Sao Paulo, that's I'm sorry, but that's uh, I pity you.
Almost as gigantic and impossible as Tokyo.
Hmm.
Yeah, no. I'm surprised to see that Rafa picked Colorado as his fourth pick actually against
Yeah.
the Canadian,
Hmm.
and Drew also with an American map, Dirt Road America,
Yeah.
um, which is kind of hard but doable, I think.
Yeah, but I think maybe a bit of a strategic error on Rafa's part there. We'll have to see how that ends up going, but you know, that may not go too well for him. Uh, Lord Pepsi, going with a home territory. He's played this pretty well. I don't know how he'll end up doing with Vasterbotten, but yeah, I'd say he has the upper hand in this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. Sausage Wrap is not in the promotion spot, I think, and Lord Pepsi is. So I'd set my money on Lord Pepsi there.
Yeah. And Biquette with Pyrenees maybe. I think that might end up in the draw because it's um each of them have sort of gone with home territory maps, and yeah, I don't really see either of them having a definitive upper hand there.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Hmm. Um,
Penguin against Ref Roxas. I'd favor Penguin for that.
yeah,
First of all, since Ref Roxas really is not that good, and he is last, I think, in
yeah.
this division. And Penguin is, I think, in the mid table somewhere.
Uh,
And it's his Penguin is Polish, so it's his home territory. And
I think that's his
Colombia is
hometown
not
as well
Ref Roxas is okay.
because it's city of your
I know that.
choice.
Okay, yeah. Then then I think it's GG's. It all depends on the how well he does on the Colombian map.
Hmm. Which I mean, urban Colombia isn't. Everyone says like some of these cities are pretty hard, but like, I've always found them like okay, I guess. Um,
Bogota is Bogota is quite big. and I
Yeah, but
think it's quite hard.
it
But
has a fairly good like road numbering system.
okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, Penguin, definitely a favorite for that match, and yeah, I believe he's like the last spot in the promotion playoffs. So yeah, with that win, he could really seal his spot up there.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Um, yeah. Flipster versus Finn, Neusel versus Diamond. Probably not the matches um with the what's the word?
Most impact.
Yeah, the most impactful outcomes. But yeah, um, I guess at this point, these players are just trying to maybe pick up a slightly better rank overall. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, uh,
Playing for honor.
yeah, there you go. But yeah, let's take a look at Division 5B now. And yeah, we actually start off with Hoskov versus Dad City in Indonesia. It went about as you'd expect for Indonesia, I think.
Well, yeah, 799 points is one of the worst scores over this whole tournament. I'm not sure if it's actually the worst
I don't
score,
think it
but
is. I think we've
it's
had like 100 something.
okay. At least it's a top 10 score for top 10 lowest score for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'll do an award show for like
Yeah.
we they do in for Edit League, and maybe we'll see it then. But it's
Yeah.
funny to see for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The thing with these is I don't know whether it's just like a score you get from actually playing it or from like okay you failed one round and then you give up and just click randomly. Um.
Maybe.
Yeah. Um. We do see a fair few more wins here. Guayla Wizard, Wakela, Kurbas, Latomf, and Jena, all picking up wins this week. Although,
Only two draws in this division.
yeah, yeah. Um, but actually, Anchor Mako, losing in Bintulu, uh,
That's
and
interesting.
Bomber losing in the US. So that's definitely an interesting draw.
Didn't expect that for sure, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there we have it.
Yeah, quite a few more low-scoring games here. Chernobyl Oblast, ending with both scores like, um, sort of 5,000, 6,000 range. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, AFI in the
we will
UAE.
play. Yeah, we'll play Ukraine in Reddit League 2
Oh,
this season.
right.
And I'm pretty scared of it. It's a really hard country. And if you can't read Cyrillic, you're guaranteed to not do well.
Yeah.
There is no other way to find out where you are.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And probably it's the same for these two guys, Valentin and Sean Eriso. They both didn't do really well because of that, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dakapaka as well hasn't had the best season. And yeah, Kirbas gets a fairly easy win there. Um, and in the French Derby, AFI got pretty close to Le Temps in Macau, but yeah, did not take too well to the UAE at all. So yeah, UAE actually providing quite a few problems for AFI and Dakapaka over here.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. You just gotta practice it, I guess.
yeah, uh,
I think it's practicable, and
mhm,
it also has some English signs, so I don't think that's the problem.
yeah,
It's just you need to know where the coverage is and the cities and how they look more or less.
it's actually the same case for Jogger because he was playing Arabian Peninsula, which is basically just a UAE map. Uh,
Yeah, isn't it Jordan as well? I'm not sure.
I I played it a few weeks ago and I did not get a single Jordan round. I
Okay, then it's probably not Jordan too.
Yeah.
Um, I know Qatar has one little tracker in the museum, but since we're not
No trackers, yeah.
since we're not using any trackers for map making in the map making process, you will
Mm-hmm.
only get UAE maps
Yeah. But yeah, Gualu Wizard,
or seeds. Yeah.
yeah, Gualu Wizard picks up a decisive win over Jogair as well. Taiwanese Island was gonna go his way for sure. But yeah, um,
I know he's quite good at it. Yeah, makes sense.
mhm, yeah. Wakelock, as well, picks up the win in the UK as you'd expect. Maybe didn't do so well. When we had it in Formula G, just a few weeks ago, but yeah, definitely, um, um, picks up a win here. That should be good for him. And yeah, a win in Accra as well. I don't think that's an easy city to play. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah. Let's take a look at the standings, and yeah, there's still a bit of a battle at the top between Curvath and Wakelock. But they're yeah, they're guaranteed to be in that promotion battle. I think both of them will end up promoting in the end. Um, uh, but we'll have to see about that once we get to the playoffs. Uh, but yeah, Ankamako still unbeaten. He's on double-digit draws. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll have to see whether he can hold it up for the last week. And just like the last division, there's a bit of a battle to get into the final playoff spots down there. I think
Arga,
Arga,
Effie,
Iffy.
Shoger, Anku, and Schön Erisson still have room to move around the
Mm-hmm.
others. Top four, as well as in the 5A division, are pretty set in stone, if you ask me. And also down there in the not relegation spots, but the last few spots of the division, 10th to 14th place. I don't think there is going to be much movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Jeune is actually guaranteed to be in the playoff um spots. So yeah, it's more of a battle between sixth and ninth. And I
Yeah,
guess in the bottom now that I know there isn't a sort of elimination battle. It's again, most of these players are probably playing for honor at this point. That
yeah.
there isn't much movement they can do. Uh, but yeah, let's see what's in store for them in the final week. Uh, yeah, we don't have any derbies this week, which is funny. This division, given that um there's six Frenchmen in here, we've ended up with a lot of derbies going on in this
Yeah,
division.
true.
But yeah, Kiribati does pick up
Also
Swedish
no,
Island.
also no Kiribastian Derby,
Yeah,
which was the other possible one,
mm-hmm.
and no American.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no American one, no British one.
Oh yeah, British one too. Yeah, just German and the Montenegrin guy are alone,
And
and
Ankamako.
Ankumaka, of course,
Yeah.
Malaysian. Yeah.
Uh, but yeah.
Yeah.
Kiribati does pick up Swedish Islands. That is home territory for him. Uh, so I don't know what a painted world is. Is that just like graffiti and things?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Also some really nice art. Some wall art. I'm not sure if what they're
Mm.
called in English.
Uh, uh,
Wandgemälde in German for those who speak German, but yeah,
mm. uh, yeah.
really nice stuff.
Mhm.
Some what's he called again? This artist. This really Banksy, exactly. Yeah, some Banksy
Okay.
stuff.
Okay, yeah, that definitely sounds interesting.
It's a cool map. I like it. I liked it when I created the seed.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, a lot of really interesting maps around here. Tropics of Cancer and Capricorn, that interesting. 100
I
large
have no
cities.
idea what this is. I also
Hmm?
created a seed for that, but I still have not figured out what this is.
Oh, so the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn are they're lines around 23 degrees north and 23 degrees south from the equator.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's I believe it like okay, like if you open up a map, it should show you two parallel lines just north and south of the equator, and yeah, those are the tropics. And I'm
Oh
guessing
yeah,
the locations were along those lines. Um,
probably.
yeah. Uh, you know what? I- is there like no word for this in German? I suppose.
For what?
Like for the tropics because it's
Die Tropen.
no, but like the
I
tropics
say.
of Cancer and
Aha.
Capricorn.
I've never heard it. No.
Oh,
Maybe there
okay.
is. I'm not that. I've never heard it though.
Tropic of Cancer.
Correct me in the comments if you want to.
Yeah, I'm just searching this up because let's see, Tropic of Cancer, Wikipedia. If I pick, can I pick the German page? Yes, it's called Wendekreis or
Ah, yeah.
Breitenkreis. Uh, yeah,
Okay.
that's what it's
Makes
calling it.
sense.
Uh, but yeah, um, but yeah, near the Arctic Ocean, that's an interesting map. Southern European Hell. Actually, Southern European Hell and Tierra del Fuego in the same match is
That's funny. Yeah.
yeah.
Near the Arctic Ocean is I think, not that good of a map because it has some locations just in the south of Finland, for example, which I
Mhm.
don't really think it's near the Arctic Ocean. It's just I think it's just near the Arctic in general. It's
Okay.
near the above the what's it called?
Arctic
The
Circle.
this line, the Arctic Circle, exactly. Yeah. I think it's just locations above that, but I'm not sure. And there are
Hmm.
some real weird locations in there. And when I created the seed, I looked at those locations I used are at least close to the ocean.
Yeah.
So it's at least close to the map name as I understood it,
Hmm. Anchor does
or
have
understand it.
yeah. Anchor does have traffic lights of Japan, which I know he's pretty good at Japan. So yeah. I don't know how he'll do on the Canadian map, but yeah, I think he has a bit of a chance to make up some points. At least a draw maybe. Uh, um,
Yeah.
yeah. Other than that, I mean, this division is pretty much set in stone at this point. Um, so yeah, we'll just have to see next week how it ends up going. Uh, so yeah,
Yeah.
that'll do it for this week then. Uh, thank you for coming on the show, and
Thanks for having me.
yeah, and we'll be back next week for the final week of the regular season, and soon enough we'll have the playoffs on our hands. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned.
Bye.